Hello folks, this is a video response to Critical Thinking and Truth Movement by Spencer, and it's quite interesting actually. Apparently it's a good job we got the national curriculum, stop these teachers going off and teaching things a bit off the we can't have these teachers trying to teach people things, can we? No, got to keep them down this narrow thing. Whatever next, you have people thinking next. You can't do that. How will the elite control all the people if they start critical thinking? I mean, can you imagine an army and the general says, right, okay, officers, I want you to go and get your troops and take them over there, and the officers say yes sir, and they go along to all the privates and whatevers, and they say, right lads, general wants us to go over there, and they all go, oh, why is that then? And he goes, well, because that's what the order is. Yeah, but why? Well, because the enemy's over there. Well, is that the best way to get the enemy? Are you sure about that? And then the officers go back to the general and go, lads want to know why. And the general's going, excuse me, but we've got you wouldn't get anywhere, would you? So, bit tough, wouldn't it? I mean, no. Imagine if all the ordinary troops on each side was critical thinking, there wouldn't be any war, would there? Be going, I don't know, I think this war stuff's a bit dangerous, isn't it? I mean, the general's sat up there in the HQ, and it's us that's getting the bullets fired at us from them, and the other lot will be going, the general's sat up in the HQ, and it's us getting the bullets, and they want us to go over there. Why do we need to go over there anyway? I'm going back home. You wouldn't get anywhere, would you? You've got, in order to run a system from the top by the elite, you can't have critical thinking. And I think if you look at some of the environmental movements, they've been a bit hijacked, haven't they? Yeah? Because there's certain aspects where people don't question, or if you do question, you're associated with Holocaust deniers. Oh dear, oh dear. And so I did sort of have a humorous thought there that it was perhaps critical thinking should be a new disorder. You've got critical thinking disorder. You know, you're not going along with what the rest of the population, so you must be a bit strange. Oh, perhaps you need psychiatric help, sir. You're asking questions? Oh dear, I don't think we can allow that, you know. Oh dear, I mean, if you're told, and it's a lot of very well-respected organisations and people are telling you these things, I mean, they are your superiors, you know, they are very well educated, they've been on the programme, and you're questioning it. Oh dear, you're suffering from critical thinking disorder. That's what you're suffering from, sir. We can't have that, sir. It makes you think, doesn't it? Oh dear, I'm doing a bit of critical thinking here. Well, I might not be, actually. I don't know if I am. Probably not. But no, it was a very good video, and I just thought, well, I'll do a response to it, because I think a lot of people should watch this video. Because, as I say, he was talking about his history teacher, who was a little bit concerned, shall we say, about the state of spelling and the way people just accept information, and so he was getting the students to kind of go through information and check out what was being said, and whether it was just opinions and stuff like that, or whether it was, you know, and if there was biases and stuff like that. And that's pretty good, really. I think that's good. I mean, I got me thinking about one of my history teachers. He was good. No, Because I think perhaps history teachers, perhaps that's why they're not so keen on people being taught history anymore. And there has been a move at one stage, sort of merging history in with other things. And you think, why is this? Well, historians have a particular, well, they could be a thorn in the, couldn't they? Because you take someone like a mathematician, they're just dealing with numbers, so they're not really that's not really a problem, is it? Or you can take somebody like a physicist or somebody else doing science, they're in their own little box, aren't they? But a historian is going to look and go, what happened then? And what happened next? And what happened after that? And who was involved? Who was the leaders? What did they decide? Why did they decide that? What caused that war then? Because a good historian will analyse what's... They'll pick the bones out, shall we say, of what's going on. And so, in order to be a good historian, they've got to... Again, I suppose they've got to have a certain amount of critical thinking, haven't they? I mean, because they've got to analyse... Because they weren't there at the time, they've got to take what information they can. I mean, if you go right back and all they got is archaeological evidence to go on, right, and maybe they might have one or two old books, perhaps what the Romans wrote or the Greeks wrote, something like that. But mostly they're kind of digging up bits of old buildings and stuff like that, and they have to kind of piece together all these bits of the puzzles. Now that doesn't mean say they get it 100% right, they probably don't, they probably way out on some things, but they have to sort of kind of, they have to do a lot of thinking, don't they? I mean, I'm not saying that mathematicians don't do a lot of thinking, but if a mathematician's thinking about numbers, it's not really a threat to the people in power, is it? Because a mathematician's going to be thinking about some complex formula, whereas a historian is going to be looking at a series of say world events, and they're going to be looking at how leaders ruled the world and stuff like that, and they're gonna say, well, hold on a minute, it's like the depression or recession, whatever you like to call it, that's happening at the moment, and a historian will go, oh, hold on, I think that happened before last century, didn't it? And they start looking at what happened then and what's happening now, and they can start to see patterns and who was involved and what happened out of it and why it happened and stuff like that. And so that is, historians in a way are sort of a threat to the elite. And you think, well, perhaps that's why they need national curriculum. You know, perhaps that's why schools have to be told, right, this is what you're going to teach them. And it sounds good on the face of it, because it sounds like, oh, well, we want no child left behind, or we want them all to get all to get the same high quality of education. We don't want them over there to be left out, so they've all got to learn the same thing. And then, of course, if everybody learns this same thing, right, then they don't have the perception of anything different. So there's no need to question it, is there? Because everybody, well, it must be right, because my mate over there, he said that, and her down the road, she said that. So, I mean, everybody knows that, don't they? Again, so it's critical thinking is critical, isn't it? It's vital, and people have to do it, but they don't. And I think, again, you got television. I heard that. I thought that's a good way of saying it, actually. But I mean, that's another way of blocking any critical thinking, isn't it? Because you get everybody watching it. Well, some people don't, but they're usually the critical thinkers, aren't they? And they're a little tiny minority. So people go, huh? And Anyway, it's just a little video response, not a very good one I suppose, but anyway, cheers for now.